Hi all, Jeanette here, and it's getting near the end of the season for us of harvesting, picking produce and having to deal with selling it, and so it's given me a little bit of time to make something that I've wanted to make all summer long, and that's going to be habanero hot sauce. I want to do some experimenting, different kinds of recipes with habaneros because I've learned to like to eat habaneros and learned to like to eat spicier food. Today I'm going to use a recipe that involves carrots, which seemed kind of funny to me to use carrots in a hot sauce, but there were several different variations on the internet, and so I think it must be a popular thing that people like to do, so I thought I'd give it a try. Let me show you what I'm going to put in it. I'm supposed to use a cup of carrots. I haven't chopped them up yet, so I don't know exactly how much this will make. And then 1 onion. I might want to use a little less than 1 onion. If I had a good sweet onion that we had grown, I would use the whole thing. But this one is not a sweet onion, so it might be a little bit more pungent. And then I need 3 cloves of garlic. Some salt, which I'm using the Himalayan salt, and I'm going to use lime juice out of a bottle. This is a variation of my own that I'm going to use. It's a peach jam that I made several years ago and had it canned, and I think it would be a really good addition. A lot of the recipes for habanero sauce call for mango, which I don't have, but this peach sounded like it was good because I like sweet hot. And then I'm using habaneros that I went out and picked this morning, fresh off of the plants. You couldn't get any fresher than that. I will chop up several of those and put them in too. I haven't determined yet how many I'm going to do of that. I will be adding vinegar to it to give it some acidity so it will taste better and last better. And I've got my blender out here this morning that I will be using. Just in case you wondered, I'm not crying over you, I'm just chopping onions. I'll be cooking it in my cast iron skillet. I seem like I cook almost everything every single day in my cast iron skillet. I do have the extra carrots over here cooking for lunch. This is about hot enough, so I'm going to put my garlic in there to get it started. Stir it around. I think it's better to not cook garlic too fast, too hot, but just kind of gently. And the recipe said whenever the garlic starts making an aroma that you can go ahead and add your onions and your carrots. And I forgot to tell you about 2 cups of water, which seems like a lot of water to me for this, but I'm going to do it and see how it turns out. I think the garlic is very aromatic, so I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. The carrots, which I got a really full 1 cup, but that's okay with me. Let's add that to there. Salt around on the top. Then add the 2 cups of water. And let that cook until the carrots are tender. Cover that with a lid and leave it there for however long that takes. While that's cooking over there, I'm going to just take the stems off of my habaneros and I think cut them in half. I think if they're cut in half, they will go ahead and blend up in the blender pretty good, where if they're whole, they might not. I pick habaneros, I picked ghost peppers, and the other hot peppers that I grow with my bare hands. If I handle them and cut them with my bare hands, I'm very careful not to touch the inside where the membrane is, the seeds are, or the inside part of the pepper. Because then it'll burn me eventually. And I don't know if you've ever had the hot pepper burn on your hands, but it's just a crazy thing. Whoop, that one's still kind of dirty. You look at your hands and they look perfectly fine, but they are on fire. And whenever it happened to me, the first time I ever chopped up jalapenos for making salsa, I was young and inexperienced and didn't know what I was doing, and I cut up a whole bunch of jalapenos with my bare hands. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That means I've got 8 of them there. I'm going to do 10. Okay, now we'll wait for the other stuff to cook. The carrots have reached the point where they're soft, so I think we're finished cooking them. I've combined my lime juice and vinegar together. I'll add that. And then I'm going to put the habaneros in. Stir that around a little bit. You don't actually cook the habaneros, you just add them to the mixture. Then I'll add the jam that I've got here. I can't remember why this jam got so dark colored. I don't know if I almost scorched it or something, but it's been a long time since I made it. I tasted it and it doesn't taste burnt at all. It tastes good. It's quite sweet. That would be the only thing I have against it. It's very sweet. So I'm going to stir that up, and then I'm going to take this over to on the counter where I have a place I can plug my blender in. It would be too hard to pour this out of the cast iron skillet into this blender, so I'm going to put it in a different container first. I've got the cooked stuff here and the blender, so I'm going to pour this in here. Boy, that really smells like habaneros for sure. Put the lid on and give it a couple of pulses. Okay, let me look at it and see what it looks like. Looks fairly pureed, kind of like baby food carrots, I guess. Okay, let me give it a taste test. It's got a good habanero flavor. I like that. It's got the sweetness of the peaches. I don't think it's too hot. I kind of think it's just right. I'm happy with that. It's still a little bit warm, so might taste a little bit different whenever it's cooled, but I'm happy with that. Anybody out there think old guy is gonna like it if I try to give him some? Let's see what he says when he comes in for lunch. Come on in, I got a surprise for you. What do you think this is?
Well, I'd have to think it probably had something to do with butternut squash.
Oh. Well, touch a dip to your tongue. Don't.
Oh, it's fire. That is hot. What in the world is it?
It's habanero hot sauce. I just made it, and I think it tastes really good.
Well, yeah, maybe it won't be wasted then. But it's not for me.
Thanks for coming on my habanero hot sauce adventure. You hear old guy back here coughing. He barely got a little taste. But I might get some kind of trick played on me one of these days. I don't know.
You're going to play a trick on yourself. You eat that.
Oh, it tastes really good to me. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. I'm putting the sauce in this quart jar. And I'll keep it in the refrigerator. It should keep in there quite a while. It's got quite a bit of acidic nature to it with the vinegar and the lime juice. If I had more of it, I would process it in a canner and keep it on a shelf that way. But for this, I'm just gonna do it in the refrigerator and use it that way.